Hold on for a second. If you've seen some cute exotic animal video and thought, I want one of those, this one's for you. Trust me, that thought almost never ends well. Today, 10 wild animals people keep trying to turn into pets. Every time, it goes badly. Not, oops, my carpet's ruined, badly. Actual tragedy, badly. Let's get into it. And heads up, we're jumping around, not counting down. First up, the capybara. I get it. It's the awe animal of the bunch. Internet's favorite animal right now, chills with ducks, cats, even crocodiles. Here's what nobody tells you though. Capybaras are the biggest rodents alive. Up to 65 kilos. That's not a lap pet, that's a dog-sized rat. They're intensely social too. Wild groups are 10, 20 animals. Get just one and it's basically lonely by design. Anxious, depressed, sometimes self-harming. They also need a pond or pool, not optional. And their teeth never stop growing, so they need constant grass to chew or they get painful dental problems. And they're way stronger and faster than they look. A 65-kilo rodent that doesn't want back in its pen? Good luck. Next. Honestly, the animal that made me want to do this video, the chimpanzee. Chimps are close enough to us that people convince themselves it's basically raising a hairy kid. They learn sign language, use tools, recognize themselves in a mirror. For the first few years, it feels like this smart, almost human companion. But chimps are 5 to 8 times stronger than an adult human. And once they hit maturity, around 8 to 10 years old, something flips, especially in males. They start doing dominance displays like they would in a wild troop, except your family doesn't know how to respond to that. And that's when it goes wrong. You've probably heard of Travis, a 14-year-old chimp in Stamford, Connecticut. In 2009, he attacked his owner's friend. She survived, but needed a face transplant. Travis was shot by police. That case led to a federal law banning primates as pets across state lines. Even with that law, thousands of chimps and other primates are still in private hands right now. Moving to something less horrifying, but still a nightmare to live with. The red fox. People think it's basically a cat crossed with a dog. I'll tell you the actual problem. The smell. Fox urine smells like skunk spray mixed with ammonia, and it gets into everything. Couch, carpet, walls, clothes. You can't clean it out, and you can't litter train a fox, so it's marking constantly. They're also nocturnal, hyperactive, and dig obsessively. Garden, carpet, furniture, nothing's safe. And at night, especially breeding season, they scream. Actual screaming. Your neighbors won't thank you. There's a famous Russian experiment, over 60 years selectively breeding foxes to be tame. It's worked, kind of, but even those tame foxes still mark territory and want to be up all night. Even the best case fox is still a lot. Next, and this one genuinely shocked me, the tiger. There are more tigers in cages in the US than left in the wild worldwide. 5 to 10,000 in US captivity versus maybe 4,500 in the wild. In some states, it's easier to legally buy a tiger cub than adopt a shelter dog. A cub costs a few $1,000s. Cute for a few months, but within 2 years you've got an animal over 200 kilos, eating 5 to 7 kilos of raw meat a day, strong enough to kill you with one swipe. And it's not cheap. Properly caring for one runs $5,000 to $20,000 a year. Most people can't keep up, so you get malnourished tigers in tiny enclosures at roadside attractions, and the ones that escape or get abandoned pile up at already full sanctuaries. This next one might be the saddest on the list, the slow loris. You've seen the videos, huge eyes, slow, gentle movements, holding a tiny umbrella. Hundreds of millions of views, comments full of people asking where to buy one. Here's what those videos don't show. Slow lorises are the only venomous primate on Earth. Glands on their elbows make a toxin they mix with saliva for a venomous bite. So to make them safe to sell, poachers rip out or clip their teeth. No anesthesia. Infection, shock, blood loss. A lot of them die right there. Somewhere between 30 and 90% die during capture and transport alone, before ever reaching a buyer. And the survivors are traumatized, nocturnal animals built for total darkness, then stuck in a bright house, which is non-stop stress. That famous tickle video where the loris raises its arms. Not enjoyment. It's reaching for its venom gland because it's terrified. Next, the wolf or wolf-dog hybrids. Kind of tragic, honestly. People get drawn in because it looks like a big dog. But wolves and dogs share 99% of their DNA, and still, they've been on separate paths for at least 15,000 years. Dogs got bred generation after generation to be friendly and obedient. Wolves never did. So no matter how early you get one, no matter how much love you give it, a wolf won't act like a dog. It's wired to be anxious and unpredictable around anything unfamiliar, and destructive, torn up drywall, shredded furniture, digging or climbing out of fences that would hold a dog easily. You need a fence 2.5 meters high, buried a meter underground, just to contain one. They howl for hours at night too. They can turn aggressive around stuff you wouldn't even notice. Mating season, a new visitor, a hormonal shift in someone in the house. That's exactly why sanctuaries are overflowing with wolf dogs people bought as cute puppies and gave up within a year. Some, with nowhere left to go, end up put down. Next, the pet monkey, capuchins, marmosets, squirrel monkeys, spider monkeys, kept for decades. Baby monkeys are ridiculously cute, cling to you like a human baby, wear little outfits. Feels almost like having a tiny human around. But they grow up, and that clingy baby turns into a territorial, aggressive, sexually frustrated adult that bites. Hard, often with zero warning. That's a real problem because monkey bites can pass on herpes B, tuberculosis, various parasites. They're also incredibly destructive with those hands. Plumbing, wiring, door frames, anything that can be pulled apart gets pulled apart. And the saddest part, monkeys raised alone, away from other monkeys, develop repetitive behaviors. Rocking, biting themselves, pulling their own hair out. That's not quirky, that's real psychological distress. Next, otters, huge on social media, especially in Japan and Southeast Asia, marketed as basically aquatic puppies. Reality's different. Otters need constant access to clean water, a real pool with filtration, or daily trips to natural water. Neither's realistic for a normal person. Without it, they get skin problems, stress, depression. They also smell, really smell. Zookeepers who deal with hippos and elephant seals say otters are up there with the worst smells in the animal kingdom. And they bite, not playful nipping, real bites. Jaws built to crush shellfish and crack fish bones. Deep puncture wounds. Easily infected. Plenty of owners who posted adorable clips in year 1 ended up in the ER by year 2. This trend's also fueled illegal trafficking of Asian small-clawed otters, now a vulnerable species. Conservationists say social media is a big part of what's pushing them toward extinction. This one's not even a mammal. Venomous snakes. In a lot of US states, you can legally own a cobra, a mamba, a rattlesnake, a gaboon viper with zero permit, zero training, zero inspection. The only thing between a king cobra and your neighborhood is whatever enclosure the owner decided was good enough. And escapes happen regularly. Evacuations, school closures, search operations costing tens of thousands of dollars. Between 2005 and 2020, there were multiple confirmed US deaths from pet venomous snakes, plus who knows how many bites needing antivenom. Scary part, most American hospitals don't stock antivenom for exotic species. Getting the right one shipped in can take hours or days. That's hours or days. Someone could die or lose a limb. Last one, the raccoon, a classic. Baby raccoons are adorable, playful, affectionate, bottle-fed. Feels like a quirky alternative to a cat or dog. Then they hit maturity, around 1 to 2 years old, and everything changes. That sweet baby turns into a hyperactive, destructive, genuinely aggressive adult. And raccoons have incredibly dexterous hands. They open latches, doorknobs, jars, light switches, fridges. Not exaggerating. People come home to emptied cabinets, shredded curtains, chewed wiring, a real fire hazard. Dug up plants, everything. Their intelligence is honestly comparable to some primates, so you cannot out-child-proof one. And health-wise, raccoons are one of the biggest rabies carriers in North America, around 30% of all wildlife rabies cases. They also carry raccoon roundworm, eggs shed in their poop by the millions, surviving in soil for years. If ingested, it can migrate to the brain and cause permanent brain damage, blindness, or worse. That alone should be a deal breaker. So that's 10. Honestly, I could have kept going. There's always someone insisting their pet lion or their pet kinkajou is different, that theirs is basically tame. It never really is. Got your own picks for animals that should have made this list? Drop them in the comments, I read all of them. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.